those are all cargo planes. And I've also jumped out of Blackhawks, which is a helicopter. Okay, so we're going to pass that around. Let's start it over here. There we go. We're just going to pass that around. Eventually, I'll get these back from you guys. This is what a parachute jump looks like. Okay, so you see the guys dangling from their parachutes there. We're going to pass that around so everybody gets a chance to look at it.
Where's that hat?
Who knows what these are? Come on. Come on, guys. Who knows what they are? This is a what?
A necklace.
Okay, it's a necklace. Okay. Yes, everybody refers to these as dog tags, but when you're in the Army, we call them ID tags. As a matter of fact, they kind of get mad at you when you call them dog tags. But these are ID tags, all right? We're going to pass these around. Let everybody look. Here you go. This is the award that I got when I graduated from airborne school. So these are my jump wings. I wore these on my uniform. I'll start with you. I'm going to start with you. Pass those around. These, by the way, I got these as blood wings. There was a retired general that came through the line, and he took these and pinned them on my chest, and then he smashed them in, so it actually broke holes in my chest. Military tradition. That's the airborne tab that goes on your shoulder, on your uniform. It says airborne on it. And this is an interesting thing. What do you suppose this is? Let's talk this. How about guys over here? What do you think this is? Let's take a look at it. Huh? It's not a bobby pin. Huh? It is a pin.
It's a thing for a grenade.
It absolutely is. It's for a grenade. This is when I went through basic training. I kept this. This was the pin from the grenade that I threw to get my expert grenadier.
Is it?
Yep. So that's an actual grenade pin. All right. And last but not least, this has a sad story attached to it. Remember I told you guys that my parachute collapsed at 50 feet? I tried to pull my reserve chute. What do you think this is?
The handle for
It's the handle for the chute. Yeah, I tried to pull my reserve chute, but I wasn't high enough for it to actually inflate.
Just put it like this. Yeah, we didn't get it.
What's that?
Where's the hat?
The hat's being passed around somewhere.
Nobody did it right there. Oh. And then pass the hat.
Where's the hat?
Here.
Oh, there it is. Keep passing it, guys. If you have to get up to move to the next table, keep passing it. All right. All right, who wants to see the parachute? Want to pass it? You already saw it, guys? What's that? All right, here's the C-130. Who wants to see the C-130? Pass it this way. Back to the net. Just like that. That's the way you wear it. And the red beret came from France. We were awarded, the 82nd Airborne saved some people in France, and the French awarded the red beret to them. I was only in for 4 years for my first term of duty, and was injured in my first tour of duty, excuse me. What was it like being in the Army? Well, I was a cannon crewman, so that means that I fired artillery rounds, so my job was to blow things up, and I was really good at it. What's that? Oh yeah. 35-meter blast radius.
No, you can't really ask them where the drink water because they really can't tell you.
Okay.
Did you go in Canada and do stuff?
Did I what?
Like go around the world and do stuff?
The farthest I went was to Panama. That's where I was injured, was Panama. The airborne wings?
I didn't see that. Where's that?
Thank you, sir. You guys got some pictures, right? You did?
We didn't get to see that.
That's straight back. Straight back. Straight back.
Dude, what are you doing? We didn't get to see it.
Wait, hold
There we go.
on. We didn't see
We didn't get to see it.
Which one?
We didn't see it.
All right. Thank you, Josiah. You guys saw this, right? C-130? C-130 guys?
We didn't see that.
All right. So let's launch into the discussion portion of this. You guys ready? All right. So what I have here is the preamble to the Constitution of the United States. Okay? Does everybody see it? Everybody back there? Everybody can see it? So I want you guys to pass those around, take a look at them. While you're looking at it, just quickly glance at it. Pick one thing that you notice and then pass it on, okay? Josiah, I'll let you see them at home, okay? And when he wanted to put them on? All right. Keep going with the Constitution, guys. The preamble. Pass it around. Quick. Take a look, notice something, and then pass it on. Pass it on to the next table. All right, pass it on, guys. Take a look. Wings. Everyone wings. See? Parachute with wings. Thank you. Yeah, this got passed around. Wait, you have one wing. All right. Okay, so while everybody's looking, so in that preamble, thank you. So in the preamble, did you get to see it yet? Did you get to see it yet? You didn't? Take a look. All right. What did you notice on that piece of paper? Yeah. What one thing did you notice? Did you notice? What's your name? Jeffrey? Okay. Did you notice anything?
You printed this?
All right. Yes, I did. What did you notice on that piece of paper?
It was printed?
Huh?
It was like printed?
It was what?
Printed? It was printed?
Yeah, it was, okay, so it was printed. What did you notice? What'd you notice, Jeffrey? Wow. We the people. Did you guys see that?
Yes.
Did you see that?
United States.
Do you think those are the most important words on this page?
We the people.
Why?
Because they're.
How do you know that those are the most important words on this page? That's true. Why? That's a very good point. Let's try something. What's the most important words in that sentence? Why? Because it's bigger, right? Anytime, like you're posting something online, if you want everybody to know these are the most important words that you're saying, what do you do with them? You make them bigger. You capitalize them, right? Like you're yelling. Let's take a look at that again. Here is the real U.S. Constitution right here. Go ahead, sit down, guys. Here's the real U.S. Constitution. Guys, take a look at that. Go ahead. So that's just a picture of it. It's not all of it, but it's the real one. Look how much bigger those letters are. There's nothing even close to the size of those letters. What do you think our founding fathers were trying to tell us about those three words? We the people. What are they trying to tell us? It's all of us, but why are those words so much bigger than everything else in the Constitution? Because they're important. There's no words even close to the size of we the people. So obviously they are the most important words in our Constitution. We the people. Who's we the people?
Us.
No. Who's we the people? Us. Is your teacher we the people?
Yes.
What about your parents? Are they we the people?
Yes.
How about the firemen?
Yes.
How about the girl at Burger King who gave you an ice cream when you bought it?
Yes.
How about the people in Congress?
Yes.
We the people. That's all of us. So let's break down this preamble real quick. We the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. All right, do we have a flag in here?
No.
We got a globe. All right. Can somebody turn that globe so that the United States is visible? I'm seeing the southern hemisphere. Where's the United States? You can see it on the bottom, right?
No, it's at the top.
Is it? Oh, it's upside down. Ah, okay. So the United States is upside down up there. All right, is that the United States?
Yes.
The land that we live on, that's the United States?
Yes.
No, that's the country that is named the United States. Can the United States change the property that we own? Can it change? Of course it can. Was it didn't have all 50 states when it first started? No. It was a bunch of colonies and territories and things like that. And eventually, they added things like the Louisiana Purchase, and they added Texas and California and Arizona and Utah, Alaska, Hawaii. What about Puerto Rico? Is Puerto Rico United States? What do you think? Is it part of the United States? Do you think that the people in Puerto Rico are we the people? Yes, they are. Puerto Rico belongs to the United States. They're not a state, but they are a territory of the United States. So they are U.S. citizens, the people of Puerto Rico. So, what I'm trying to say is, the geography of the land that we own can change. That is not the United States. It is our home. We will protect it. We own it. It is our land. But it is not the United States. We, the people, are the United States. And that's what they're trying to tell us in this document. in order to form a more perfect union, what's more perfect? When you want something to be more perfect, what do you want it? What are you trying to do with it? Make it better. Does that sound right to everybody? What is a union? You answer a lot. Hang on. Come on. You. Back here. Yeah. What is a union? Yes, a group of people together. That's what we're looking for, together. So, is this a union? My hands coming together like this? Is that a union? Yes, it is. They're together now, right? What about this ring right here? Does that represent a union?
Yeah.
What kind of a union is that? A marriage, right? A marriage. A union between two people. And now we're talking about a union of a whole lot of people coming together, creating the United States. And we want that union to be more perfect. There we go. Oh, good. So the next piece of it, establish justice. What does that mean? What does establish justice mean? Establish justice. That's actually going to come up later. And what? Justice issue. What we are talking about with establishing justice, we're talking about a system of laws, right? A system of laws, because we're not ruled by a king. We're not ruled by the president. We're not ruled by Congress. We're not ruled by the Supreme Court. We are ruled by laws. Laws made by, the first three words of the preamble, we the people. We are the law. Are the police the law? No, they are not. They are trusted citizens that we ask to enforce our laws. We make the law. Okay? We the people. So justice, when we talk about establishing justice, we make laws based on what is right and wrong. Right. So we build laws. We say, this you can do, this you can't do. These are our laws. And we make that so that it's what rules us. We are ruled by law. We are governed by law. The next piece, ensure domestic tranquility. All right, everybody for a second, close your eyes and then imagine complete quiet. What word would you use to describe that quiet? Peace. Very good word. A very good word. That's a good word for tranquility, right? We're wanting to ensure peace in our homes, right? So that's part of our Constitution. There's a lot of things going on in here in this preamble. They're talking about a lot of things they want. Provide for the common defense. Okay, now here's where our part comes in. This is the part where the military comes in. Provide for the common defense. What does that mean to you? What does that mean? You don't know? Come on. Oh, you've got a cheat sheet. Yes, you're correct though. Protect. We want to protect. We're going to provide for the common defense. That means that we, of the people of the United States, established a military. Now, does that military belong to the president?
No.
No. Who does it belong to?
We the people.
So it's our military, right? Because we established it in order to protect everyone else. Okay. Promote the general welfare. Now that's a tough one. What does that mean? Promote the general welfare. When we talk about the general welfare, we're talking about the general, we're talking about everybody, right? And what is welfare? Our well-being. What does that mean? We've already talked about establishing justice. Come on. Community health and happiness. That's the welfare. We want everyone to be happy and healthy, right? So we're asking in our preamble, what we're saying in our preamble is, we're going to tell you exactly how we're going to do this, but right now, this is what this document is about. We want to provide for the common defense. We want to promote the general welfare. It's in the Constitution. They thought about these things all those years ago, 200 and something 250 years ago? 250 years? Yeah. Secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. So, what is a blessing?
Like
There we go.
something you like have and
Something you have?
like something that you made. Like I don't know how to say it.
Something
what a
good that
blessing-
happens to you, right?
Yeah.
Something good, right? Something good is a blessing. Does everybody agree with that? Something good? All right. Education, free education, right here in this classroom that's happening right now today is a blessing. It's coming to you. And you're investing in yourself by taking advantage of those blessings. You're securing that blessing by being here. You understand? Okay. So, we're securing the blessings of liberty. What is liberty? Let me pick on somebody I haven't picked on here. You. Come on. Come on, I'm talking to you. What's liberty? There's a word we use all the time. Starts with F-R-E-E-D-O-M. There you go. Say it. Say it so everybody can hear it.
Freedom.
That's it. Freedom. There we go. Freedom is a good word to describe liberty, but liberty is a little bit more. Liberty is a culture of choices and opportunities and the freedom to use them, right? If I'm 54 years old, if I decide I want to be a rapper, I can go out there and learn how to do rapping. I can go and talk to rappers, and I can try and do it. Probably not going to be very good at it, but I have the liberty to do so. The freedom to exercise that opportunity. Maybe I succeed, maybe I don't. My fellow Americans will tell me so, right? So that's liberty. Options and the freedom to exercise those options. So we want to secure liberty for ourselves, obviously for ourselves, but there's a flowery word, posterity. What does that mean? Has anybody got an idea? We don't use that word anymore either when we talk about our posterity. What is our posterity? If I'm talking about me, someone in this classroom is my posterity. Who is it? Josiah is my child. So I want to secure the blessings of liberty for myself and for my children. That's my posterity. One day you'll have children. One day you will. And that will be your posterity. And your children depend on you to secure those blessings of liberty for them. Right? So there's that. Now, there's the last piece of it. Do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Do ordain. We're ordaining and establishing the Constitution. What does ordain mean? Kind of a fancy word. You've heard that word before. I know you have. What does ordain mean? Go ahead.
Sir?
To serve? Actually, it's a function happens after ordaining. Anybody? We want to invest our power and authority in something, and so we ordain it. We invest our power and authority into that thing. Right? And establish. Now, where was my girl who told me what establish meant? What does establish mean? Making something. It's more than that.
You complete
If
something?
I am a construction guy and I build buildings, and I come over and I'm gonna make myself a nice building with columns and a big shiny dome and more columns and a great big door, and I'm a terrible drawer, but you get the idea. So I've made this building. Now I've established that building. That building is now real. I've established it, okay? So what we're doing with this Constitution is we are ordaining, we're putting our power and authority into it, and we are making it real. It is now a reality. We've established it, ordained and established the Constitution. Who did it?
Us. We the people.
We the people did it, right? Okay. So that is your preamble to the Constitution. Did I help you guys understand anything? All right. Okay. So, there is a culture right now, and I know you guys have seen it. Whenever you see somebody that's in uniform, or you find out that somebody's been in the military, what's the things that everybody likes to say to those people now? For? Thank you for your service, and I thank you. So there's something to say about serving, right? When I first went into the military, I decided to put my college education on hold, and I decided I wanted an adventure, so I went into the military. And I didn't really understand my place in this until I got there and began to look at the history of it, hear what people were saying, and see what my place is and what my service truly meant. And I began to envision my whole country, all 300 and some odd million of us, standing right behind me, holding me up, supporting me. So yes, I was serving them, but they were supporting me. So your job, right here, in educating yourself and becoming better, being the best citizen you can be, that's just as important as serving. Because you're serving them and they're serving you. That's what we do here in the United States. We serve each other. We want to be the best citizens we can be. So for my part, whenever you say thank you for your service, I want to come down and I want to look every single one of you guys right in the eyes, and I want to say I serve for you and thank you for your support. Okay? So, what's your name? Lila. And what's your name? Christian? Christian, Lila is depending on you to be the best citizen you can be. And Christian is depending on you to be the best citizen you can be. We the people wants everybody to understand that you're all citizens, that you're all the government. You are the government, and the people that we send to the government are our elected representatives. We ask them to go up and elect. Okay? All right. So that's enough of that part of that and everything. Does anybody have any questions? What do you got? As I was talking about earlier, I was in the Army, or excuse me, I was in college. As a matter of fact, I was studying electronics engineering. Now I'm an IT professional, by the way. So I decided I kind of wanted some adventure, and so I just decided to go and do it. And I went and joined the military and got in. I also wanted college money, but it wasn't until I got to the military that I began to understand my place in service. So it was just adventure, and I wanted, to get the what they call, I can't even remember what the program was that they had at the time, but they would help to pay for your college when you were in there. No, I exited in 1991. I was injured in a parachute accident and medically discharged. So now I'm a disabled veteran. As a matter of fact, I've got my.
Can you go back to the Army?
This is my disabled veteran card. So you can see that. See? You guys can pass that around if you want to. Go ahead. All right. Who else got a question? Over here?
Can you go back to the military?
What's that?
Can you go back to the military?
No, I'm too old and too disabled for that. But I really wish I could. There's a lot of things that I miss from there. You get to do things in the military you just don't get to do anywhere else. Like, Jeffrey was going to ask me a question about Superman. What was it?
You Captain America? How does he get to fly?
There we go. So, when I was in air assault school is where you learn how to rappel out of helicopters. Does anyone know what rappelling is? Huh? That's when you like go down a mountain on a rope. Well, in air assault school, you learn how to rappel out of a helicopter. So you don't have a mountain. You're on a rope and you rappel straight out of the helicopter to the ground. Well, we did a march to graduate from air assault school, and when we got done with our march, we were in the trees. Okay, and the helicopter. Told you I'm a terrible drawer. So the helicopter. So we stopped. We were in the woods, and the helicopter came and dropped this cable down to us. And we did what is called a stay bow. Now you've got a harness, and this goes over your shoulders and around your sides here. It clips in the front and goes underneath your legs and through here, and everything snaps together. And then you've got these big D-rings on your shoulders like this. And so that cable comes down, and it's got hooks on it. And so there were 5 of us, and I was directly in the middle. I was the 3rd guy. And there were 2 guys in front of me and 2 guys behind me. So I took one set of hooks and hooked it to the guy in front of me, and then I hooked to the guy in front of me. So all of us are hooked together, front to back, all the way down. So we're just standing together just like this, 5 guys in a line, right? So they're hooked to the helicopter, and then the helicopter lifts us up out of the woods and flies away with us. So we're underneath the helicopter going like this, doing what they call the stay bow. And it's the closest thing to being Superman you'll ever get, because you're hanging from a cable underneath the helicopter and you're flying. Could the cable break? Oh no. It would take a lot more than our weight to break that cable. I mean a lot more, like, you ever seen a tractor pull contest where tractors pull against each other?
Yeah.
The tractors would probably break before that cable would. Yep. I'm sure you'll think of it here in a minute. What you got? What atmosphere? Oh. You know what? I don't even know what to say, but I would imagine it's just the closest one. We didn't go that high. She asked what atmosphere I was in. I'm sure she's saying a meteorological question. No, we didn't go that high. As a matter of fact, that's actually a good point, because in an airborne operation, you know, when people jump with sports chutes, they jump from anywhere from 15,000 to 20,000 feet. That's with sports parachutes, and so they get to do all the really cool stuff of flying around and stuff like this. But in airborne operations, they jump from as low as they possibly can to minimize the amount of time that you're in the air. So you have a very short time for your parachute to open, and so they use a static line to pull your parachute open. You don't pull your own parachute; the airplane literally pulls the parachute out for you. Sometimes, and a lot of times we slept on the ground when we were in the field. But we kept
What was the question?
sleeping bags with us, so we were good.
Did anybody else get injured?
I've seen a lot of injuries. You gotta imagine, we do a lot of really high speed things, very, very fast, and it's all about survival. And sometimes the training can take a dangerous turn. So yeah, there were a lot of people that have been injured. Oh, thank you.
Injured and killed?
Oh, you didn't see it?
I didn't see it.
I believe that there are some that can go that high. Understand that helicopters don't have as high a ceiling as airplanes do. So airplanes can go higher than helicopters can, but helicopters, especially things like Blackhawks, can fly pretty high. But I never went into the clouds in a helicopter. In a plane, I have. Any other questions? What you got?
Have you ever went in the ocean?
Not for the military, but I did know I did know a lot of special forces guys, and they did their scuba diving training different places. It's really funny because a lot of their scuba scuba diving training was in the Bahamas and the Caribbean Ocean, so they got to go to really cool places to go do their scuba diving stuff. What's that? No, once again, we jump from a lower altitude, so the air is not as thin as you might think. But jumping from a helicopter is kind of scary, because with a plane you have a 4-second time before the parachute is fully open and you check it. With a helicopter, it's 6 seconds, and those 2 seconds can seem like an eternity when you're waiting for your parachute to open. Go ahead.
Have you ever actually been in a battle or like?
Yes, in Panama when I got injured. You need to see the card? All right.
How many different countries have you been in?
How many different cultures? What?
Have you been in?
Now, see, that's an interesting question. It doesn't really necessarily have to do with the military. But as far as cultures go, I love cultures and embrace them as often as I can. I've been to China, I've been to Mexico, I've been to the Caribbean islands. Well, obviously I've been to Panama, but I didn't get to interact with the people that were there. So, as often as you get an opportunity to leave the United States and meet other people, obviously you want to go to places that are safe, right? But as often as you can, you want to do that, because you begin to understand that the people that are there, they're just like us. They want the same thing. Governments are different, but the people themselves, they have families, they want to provide for their families, and they want to be happy and healthy, just like us. Culture is a really cool thing. Go ahead.
How did people find out that you were injured?
Because I was yelling. I was hurt really bad. This whole leg right here was all broken. It almost killed me. Because I bled so bad, on the inside, my leg was about that big round from all the blood that was in there. Yeah, they had to evacuate me out with a helicopter. In a Black Hawk. Did you have one? A question? Okay. Anything else, guys?
How can a parachute do that to your leg?
The parachute?
Yeah.
Okay. So we were in the air and bad things were happening on the ground, and one of the other soldiers was freaking out, and he was doing a slip, and he came and his parachute was underneath mine. And when it hit my parachute underneath mine, it took the air out of mine, and mine collapsed, and I fell 50 feet. So I tried to pull the ripcord for my reserve parachute, but I didn't have enough time. It didn't inflate. It was, seconds. Like, it didn't have enough time to actually inflate. So I hit the ground after falling 50 feet. Anything else, guys? I know that's a pretty sobering thing to think about, isn't it?
Did your leg crack?
How did they fix your leg?
I went back to the hospital, and the doctors did their things. They had to put metal and stuff in it.
Metal?
Yeah. It was called a compression pin and plate. No, luckily I landed in sand. It could have been better. It could have been worse.
If you landed in sand?
I landed in sand. Luckily I landed in sand. It could have been far worse if I hit something harder. What's that? You fall from a high enough height, and the water is something called surface tension. It'll be just like hot water. Oh, when you jump out of a plane? Airborne operations, when you're training, usually go between 1,250 and 1,500 feet. If you're actually in combat, they can go as low as 800 feet, and they actually can go even lower. They can go down to 500 feet. And if you think about it, 500 feet, we think about that as a really tall height. That is the length, that is about a third further than a full football field, okay? So they're actually flying really low when you think about it, 500 feet. parachute has just enough time to open and you have just enough time to prepare and hit the ground. And they don't want you in the air very long. So that's the whole point behind airborne operations. Go ahead.
What did you do on a daily basis?
On a daily basis, train. Everything from taking care of your uniform to running and physical activity and that sort of thing, going to the field, cleaning our equipment, mowing the lawn, making our unit look good, painting, whatever it took to keep our area up to date. And then training in the field, you go down with the artillery units. It's a 6-gun battery. You have six guns. Those are artillery pieces. And then we train on how to shoot them, how to do different types of missions, and that sort of thing. Go ahead. You can. It's called slipping. You have 4 risers, 2 in the front, 2 in the rear, and then you've got all the cords that all come out to hold the parachute itself, okay? So if you pull the risers, it lets air out in the opposite direction. So like for instance, if I wanted to go forward, I'd pull my front risers, and it would let the air out of the back of the parachute so that I would go forward. Or I could do a 1 riser slip and go at a lateral way, and you can pull it down quite far. And yes, it makes you go down faster, but it lets the air out faster on one side. So you can actually be going pretty quick.
Did you live sideways when you broke your leg?
Did I what?
Did you live sideways when you broke your leg?
I tried really hard. When I saw that that something was wrong, that I was coming in too fast, I tried to hyper elevate my legs. It's called a PLF, parachute landing fall. We try to land, you hit feet first, knees, buttocks, and then you hit your shoulder, and I like to roll. I would roll a little bit to absorb the fall. The impact from a normal parachute fall is about 22 feet per second, which is the same as jumping off an 11-foot roof. So if you're on a single-story house and you jump off the roof at 11 feet, by the time you hit the ground, you're going to be going 22 feet per second. And so you roll to absorb that impact because it's a lot of impact, right? So you roll to keep yourself from being injured. So I tried to do that. Unfortunately, I went straight down. And that, of course, snapped it right there.
Something you were training for your military, the people that were teaching you or off on you?
There's a statement from a movie. I'm trying to remember which one it was. But one of the things they say is people don't charge machine gun nests because you treated them with kindness. So yes, there's a lot of toughening you up when you go into the military.
Is the military just a
Well, the Army is one part of the military. There's actually 5 active militaries, and then there's a bunch of reserve militaries as well. So you've got the Army. Come on, guys, tell me. I know you guys have got veterans. Huh? The Navy.
military.
Hang on. Air Force. There we go. Come on, there's another one.
Governor.
They're the guys that run up beaches. The Marines. And then there's the guys that protect our borders out in the ocean. Who are they?
Coast Guard.
The Coast Guard. That's our 5 active militaries we have. We actually have the Coast Guard. There's actually a reserve for each one of these. So those guys are the ones that go a weekend every month and 2 weeks a year. So you have the Army Reserve, Air Force Reserve, that sort of thing. And you got the National Guard. The National Guard, by the way, that is our state militia. So when you hear people talking about the Second Amendment rights, that Second Amendment is actually about creating and forming the militia, in this case, the National Guard. That's all that the Second Amendment means. It's just about forming the militia. Good? Yeah, I did. I really wish that I could still be there. I really did. All right, guys. What do you think? We got another one?
Did you have breakfast, what time, did you eat early?
So the military tends to think of a day in the 24-hour clock, right? It doesn't matter what time of the day it is. You're still in the military. So whenever you're active, that's when you eat. But generally speaking, you eat breakfast early in the morning, lunch at lunchtime, and dinner at dinner time. They're really good about feeding you. The military will definitely feed you. You got anything else? What do you got? Anything? Any other questions, guys? Well, all right, that's all I've got. Cooperative, engaged. Thank you for being so engaged, guys. I appreciate it.
And if Mr. Weber's class, since you're not rushing, if they would like, if you'd like to come up in a line and shake Mr. Underhill's hand, is it Underhill?
Underhill.
I said Underhill, but whatever. If you'd like to shake Mr. Underhill's hand, thank him for his service on this Veterans Day,